Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Tamra judge calls Gretchen Rossi a liar at the RHOC reunion. The lights on the reunion stage burned white hot, the kind that flattened every wrinkle into oblivion and made even the most glamorous housewives squirm. Orange pillows lined the sectional couch where the cast of The Real Housewives of Orange County sat stiff and shiny, waiting for their turn under Andy Cohen's spotlight. But nobody buzzed with more electric tension than Tamra Judge. Her jaw set, her eyes narrowed, and her posture coiled like a spring. Across from her, Gretchen Rossi looked like she'd floated in on a cloud, sleek blonde hair, a pastel gown, and a glossy comb that Tamra found infuriating. The audience sensed fault lines under the set before Andy even opened his mouth. You could practically hear the countdown to detonation. Let's talk about honesty, Andy began, flipping a card with deadly casualness. There's been a lot said this season about authenticity and accusations of lying. Tamra's lips curled. Gretchen blinked slowly. The room held its breath. Tamra, Andy said, you've been vocal that you think Gretchen hasn't been honest. Do you still feel that way? Tamra didn't hesitate. Absolutely. Gretchen is a liar. I said it, and I'll say it again. Even by reunion standards, it was a detonating opener. Gretchen adjusted her gown and sighed dramatically. Oh, here we go, she said, her tone feigning patience. No, here you go, Tamra shot back. Because every time you walk into a room, the truth just leaves. Andy's brows arched. He loved nothing more than housewives who came prepared to set fire to the carpets. Specifically, he pressed, what do you think she's lying about? Tamra let out a clipped laugh, the kind that said she'd been waiting for this moment. Let's start with the season, she said. From day one, you were pretending to be everyone's friend. You act like you're this positive sunshine thing, but behind the scenes you were stirring the pot, telling Heather that Shannon was unstable, telling Emily that I was out to get her, and then playing innocent. That's a lie. Gretchen's smile was tight. It's called having conversations. Everyone shared opinions. No, Tamra said, pointing an accusing finger. It's called manipulation. You lied to us, you lied to them, and then you lied again when it all blew up. Gretchen's gaze sharpened. You're projecting, Tamra. You've been doing this for years. You scream, you point fingers, and you pretend everyone else is the problem. I've never pretended, Tamra countered. You have. You rewrite reality like you're editing your own press release. The other housewives watched, wide-eyed. Shannon clutched a tissue. Heather shifted, inhaling as if she wished she could architect the conflict into something more symmetrical. Emily leaned forward, munching on her lip, because this season this reunion had been building toward an explosion between Tamra and Gretchen, two forces that seemed fated for collision. So let's talk about the charity event, Andy said. Because this became a big story. Gretchen straightened. Yes, let's. Tamra nodded, ready. Gretchen lied about raising $10,000. She told the press she did it. She made social posts saying she did it. But we all know the event barely broke $4. The receipts were right there. She inflated the numbers to make herself look good. Gretchen's nostrils flared. I reported what I was told. The final numbers were still coming in. Tamra leaned forward. You weren't told anything. You wrote the caption. You pushed the narrative. You wanted to be the hero, but you couldn't do it honestly. Why would I lie about charity? Gretchen demanded. For attention, Tamra said, deadpan. Because if there isn't a camera pointed at you, you don't know what to do. The air crackled. Andy nodded thoughtfully, letting the moment marinate in tension. And then there's Jeff, Tamra continued. You told people you didn't know him that well. I didn't. Gretchen protested. Tamra raised her voice. You posted about how he was your best friend. You said you were devastated by his passing, and yet when people asked you about what you did to honor him, you suddenly didn't remember the timeline. Gretchen's face tightened. Losing someone is complicated. No, Tamra said quietly, lying is complicated. Grief is real. But using someone's death for sympathy, that's low. A hush fell. Even Andy's expression turned somber. Gretchen swallowed. I cared about Jeff. You don't get to question that. You cared about being seen caring about Jeff, Tamra said. Big difference. For a moment, the reunion set felt small, claustrophobic, the glitz replaced with something darker, confrontation, memory, resentment. Heather finally dared to speak. We've all struggled with authenticity at different points, she offered carefully, like she was extending a silk thread across a minefield. But intention matters. I think some of us reacted strongly this season because things often didn't align, the story didn't match the behavior. Gretchen exhaled. I tried to be positive. I tried to give people the benefit of the doubt. Tamra laughed softly. You tried to spin. You created narratives and then hid behind them. Emily nodded. I did feel sometimes that things didn't add up. Shannon sniffled. It's hard to build trust when stories shift. Shift, Tamra echoed. They didn't shift. They spun. Andy shuffled his cards. So, Gretchen, do you want to respond? Gretchen drew herself up. I think Tamra has decided who I am. No matter what I say, she'll call it a lie. I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes. But I am not a liar. Tamra's voice softened, but her eyes stayed steely. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest, but you haven't been. You twist. You avoid. You blame. And then you smile like nothing happened. Gretchen shook her head. You're obsessed. No, Tamra replied. I'm exhausted. Silence. For the first time, Gretchen looked shaken, not angry, not defiant, but exposed. Andy interjected. Tamra, what would closure look like for you here? Tamra paused, considering. The truth, she said. Just the truth. Admit you said things behind our backs. Admit you inflated your charity numbers. Admit you played roles to look good. Gretchen's chin lifted. I'm not admitting to something I didn't do. There it is, Tamra said. The lie. A long moment stretched between them, two women who knew each other, who once teased friendship, now separated by disappointment and pride. But then Gretchen spoke, her voice lower. I was insecure, she said. I wanted people to like me. I wanted to fit in. Sometimes I overcorrected. Sometimes I exaggerated. Tamra blinked, stunned. The room shifted. It wasn't about attention, Gretchen continued. It was about belonging. The admission wasn't a full confession, but it was something, truth enough to cool the flames. Tamra nodded slowly. That's all I ever wanted, she said. Honesty. The heat softened. For the first time all night, the two women saw each other not as villains or heroes, but as humans navigating fame's labyrinth. Andy leaned back, sensing resolution. Well, he said, "I think that's progress." The audience exhaled. The reunion didn't end in hugs. It didn't need to. In Orange County, peace comes in fragments, tentative and fragile. What mattered was that, on that glittering stage, under punishing lights, truth gained ground. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough.